Welcome back. It's your boy Fresh.
And I'm Mary, and we are a Co-ople of nerds, and this is the board game Backlog.
So someone bought too many games on Kickstarter. So we have to play through our collection and figure out which games earn the right to stay, which games gotta hit the bricks. So up first, we're doing this in how long they've been in our collection, not necessarily in any order as we go. First up is Nidavellir. So this is a drafting game in which you are drafting a team of dwarves, and there is some story about you're trying to figure out who has the best team to fight a dragon, but you never fight the dragon. You're just trying to build the best team of dwarves. What do you think of Nidavellir?
I liked it. I'm not always the biggest fan of drafting games, but this one, I mean, not necessarily engine building, but a little bit of engine building kind of to it. And, you know, the way that you can kind of make your points multiply on top of each other and get the special cards that help you earn points at the end, which is with the kings or something like that.
Yeah, the leaders, I think. So leaders, so basically it's, I think there's 5 different colors of dwarves, and, you know, like to your point where they'll kind of go up. The more you have of any particular color, the better they score. But then if you get one of each color, you get a leader. And that one can sort of break the rules of the game and give you advantages. So there's a lot of strategy in this, and it's also an auction game, which I think this might have been one of our first auction games. I don't remember playing one before where you bid to see who picks first, and you can upgrade your coin to get a higher, be able to bid higher, which adds a whole other dynamic to it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. Even our non-gamer friend, or low level gamer friend, I thought she enjoyed it too.
Yeah, she did. And it's relatively simple, I think, and easy to play. It's pretty straightforward. So you can add, again, a lot of strategy to it, except it's not really difficult to learn, and bunch of different ways that you could go.
Yeah. So we'll hang on to that one. Up next, this is a game that got you into gaming. So, spoiler alert.
This was my gateway game.
Yeah, spoiler alert. It's probably not going anywhere. Good old Pandemic.
Yes.
This is sort of like the classic co-op board game. If you've ever had an interest in getting started in board gaming, this is a great gateway game. It's co-op. You never feel like you dominated the game, and you never feel like the game dominated you. It feels like all games are pretty close, kind of 50-50 game, which I think is where co-ops really shine. Or skew slightly harder. We'll get into another one that doesn't do that here in a minute. But, you're saving the world from 4 diseases.
Yeah, it's... I like that... I like the mechanic that Pandemic uses, where if you're not taking care of one area, it could get away from you and continue to multiply. So you kind of have to always be watching out on the board on all the different places, or it can easily spread. So I like that mechanic that they use here. And there's a lot of other Z-Man games that use it. But Pandemic's kind of the OG.
Yeah, there's a lot of cooperative games that sort of use that. I would say like the Forbidden series
Yes.
uses that same kind of, if you ignore a problem for too long, it may not seem big now, but it will eventually kill you. So that one's great, a lot of fun. Always when someone's wanting to try a new game or wanting to get into gaming, that's always a go-to. Up next, Ni no Kuni 2. So another cooperative game based off the popular video game IP. This one I'm torn on. And I've been torn on this one all day.
Yeah.
And I'll be interested to hear your thoughts. So it is a game in which it is a city building game. Even though the video game is a role-playing game. So it's a little bit of a curveball there. Which you need to send your team out on missions. So you have your main character plus, what do they call them, Higgledies? And roll dice and try to defeat the monsters, to satisfy the quest, to get resources, to then take those resources and build out your town. And at the end of 5 turns, your town needs to be bigger than the final boss. So you don't have to beat the final boss like in terms of like rolling dice or anything. Really unique game.
Yeah. This is a unique mechanic for sure. Especially the fact that it's city building but also cooperative.
Yeah. So this game has a warm spot in our heart because this is still our most popular video. Was this review? Which is so unfortunate because that was so early on. Like, I was using a free editing software. I wish they'd pick one of the slightly newer ones. But, so we played it again, maybe 3 or 4 times, and we beat the dog shit out of that game.
Yeah. It's actually kind of easy to beat.
Yeah. And like I just said, where I want my co-op games to be, I would say best case scenario is a 50-50. I'd actually maybe slightly prefer it a little bit on the harder side, so maybe win 75 or win like 25% and lose 75%, somewhere between 25 and 50% of my games I want to be victories in co-op. That last time we played it, the last turn we didn't even do anything. We didn't even buy anything. We had the game so whipped.
Well, yeah, our city was already going to beat the big boss as well as there's always the minor bosses you have to beat. The minor bosses, though, they add to the big boss. But we had enough that like we would have beat the big boss and all the minor bosses anyways.
So there's only 5 turns, and if you throw away a turn, you threw away 20% of your turns. And just early on, we got city spaces that produced resources as well as reduced the cost of buildings. So we just ran away with it.
We took advantage of our player powers because of individual player powers, and we were taking advantage of those each time, which also was helpful.
Right. But that's normal co-op stuff. I mean, even Pandemic has individual player powers, so I don't...
But I almost feel like the benefits you get from the city as you build your city, as well as your player powers, it was kind of like we almost didn't even need to earn anything from our quests in order to be able to buy cities, because our cities were already producing everything we needed, as well as player powers that would allow us to get resources for free.
So. Yeah. So, with a heavy heart, I think it's time to send Ni no Kuni 2 to another home. Let someone else build a YouTube channel off it, and I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think it's time to go?
Yeah, it's really cool that it's got that unique game mechanic that we really haven't seen anywhere else, and that the video that we made for that was so successful. So there's a nostalgia there, but it's just not a game that we're going to pull out, so the only thing we would keep it is for memory's sake.
Yeah. Speaking of memories, I barely remember this one. My Little Scythe. So... I think the best thing about this game is the story. So a guy bought Scythe and fell in love with it and was playing it with his buddies. daily. And his daughter's like, I want to play Scythe with you, Daddy. You like it so much. And he's like, this is probably a little too advanced for you. So he decided to design basically Scythe Junior. And the publisher, Stonemaier, liked the concept so much they picked it up and, bought it from him and made it. But the problem is, like, the game's a little bit more streamlined, a little bit simpler, but not overly, like,
yeah, and it's
they
just
are close.
more of a change of terms, right? Like, they have pies instead of, what is it?
Mechs.
Yeah,
but so the fighting's still the same, where you got the spin down dial and you got the power up cards.
Yeah, it's Scythe, just cute.
Throwing pies instead of blasting each other with mechs. But you still get resources. The resources are still on the board.
You still have popularity.
Yeah, they're still popular. I guess you can't add characters where you're buying mechs, so you get a bigger presence out like this. Your presence, I guess so. That's probably the biggest thing it took away was sort of the area control of getting new meeples out there, because all that's gone. You just got your two heroes. But I don't know if I want to play Scythe, I'll just grab Scythe.
Right. Yeah. And I don't know that Scythe would be the type of game that our kids would want to play anyways. So keeping it for the sake of maybe our kids playing it later probably wouldn't want to.
Yeah. Again, I didn't think it eased up the gameplay enough to really qualify as like a junior or my little series. So that one we'll send on. Let's see, up next, Paint the Roses. So we slightly disagree on this game.
It's a beautiful game. You loved Alice in Wonderland theme, and this is a beautiful game. The tiles are gorgeous. And the game mechanic, I feel, it's unique. I haven't seen a game mechanic like this before, except it's still hidden information. I don't like that.
She is very nosy and must know everything.
It could be very difficult.
So basically, you have a color, or what do you call those, card symbols, card suits that you want to get connected in the game as you're building this garden for the Queen of Hearts. And you need to get the other players to guess your card to move your character and stay ahead of the Queen of Hearts, because she moves every turn. If you guess wrong, she moves double, so you want to be careful. So yeah, you're just guessing what the other person has.
Based on clues.
Yeah.
So you get to place down a tile. Where you place the tile, you get to put down a block that shows, okay, based on where I place this tile, there are, however many blocks you put down, there are that many matches with this tile that match my card.
Yep.
So if you put down a tile that's purple next to another purple, and you have purple to purple on your card, and maybe there's just one there, then you would put down one block. The only problem is that sometimes it's statistically you're looking at it and it's a three-way split. That person's card could be one of 3 different types of cards, or 4. So you have to. Eventually, you just have to guess.
Yes, there is. You can, sort of figure out, okay, well, we know Mary's card is a 50-50, whereas Fresh's card is, 33% chance. Let's just guess Mary's and,
better chance.
Yeah. There is an expansion, so this is actually 7 games instead of 6. But when I threw that one in, it just makes it harder. So now you have other goals in which, you need to line up 4 purples, or you need to line up 4 diamonds, or, there's all kinds of different little things where it just adds another level in which you get the keys to leave the garden. So you can run away from the queen as much as you want, but if you don't have the key to leave, she's eventually going to catch you and cut off your head.
Well, that's horrible.
I don't think the Queen of Hearts is very nice. So I'm in a tough spot.
So we played this with some other people, and they enjoyed it. So they enjoyed it. You enjoy it. It's a pretty game. Again, unique game mechanics, so it's not like we've got another game that has that mechanic. So I would say if you want to keep it, you could keep it.
Who really enjoyed it? Because Beth hated it.
I thought Beth liked it.
Oh, no.
She did not?
She hated that game.
I think Levi was like, you take it or leave it.
Yeah. What about... Did we play it with the Maple Society?
We did play with the Maple Society.
Maybe they are the ones that kind of liked it?
Maybe.
Okay. Well, we are trying... Our 3 calyxes are overstuffed. We need to make space. I don't want to be the guy that brings down the whole group. So we'll go ahead and move on from that one. It is a really pretty game.
It's very pretty.
Last, photosynthesis.
Another beautiful game.
Yeah, there's, I guess, the first 4 are pretty normal, but those last 2 are really pretty. So this is a area controlled tree growing game.
Yeah, you build your own forest.
Yeah, well, you're building a forest with other people.
Right, but like your part, you have your area that's your forest. It's
right.
Your trees. You're growing your trees from seed.
Uh-huh.
And you have to be able to. You have to go through the progression. So you have to buy it. You get sunlight from your plants, and that sunlight is your currency.
Yep.
And then you buy a seed. You then have to grow that seed into a little tree, and then a bigger tree, and then an even bigger tree. And then eventually when your tree gets big enough, then you harvest the tree.
Yep.
And you get a coin with some victory points for the end.
Yeah. So the only way to score in this game is to go from seed to tallest tree and chop it down or harvest it. So the middle of the board has higher points, but it's harder to get sunlight because the sun will revolve around the board. So you can block each other with trees. If your tree is taller than the one behind it or of equal size, you block it. And that's makes this game surprisingly cutthroat. You think a game about growing trees, like, oh, it's just going to be, happiness and sunshine. It's like, no, you block each other and can really put the screws.
Yeah.
Greg from the Maple Society really got the screws dug in on him because we just sort of trapped him in the middle and he couldn't get any sun.
Yeah, he got the middle. You got the middle spot, which is worth the most points, but he had a hard time growing his tree because we kept shading him.
Yeah. They have this game. Our neighbors, Beth and Levi, also have this game. So even though I enjoy the game, fine. I wouldn't say it's my favorite game, but I enjoy it, and it's really pretty to look at. We got 2 other copies in our friend group. I don't think we need a third. If we wanted it, we could just walk over across the street and borrow it, or talk to the Maple Society next time we're at their house, or they come over. Hey, can we borrow photosynthesis for a week? Yeah. And none of them would say no, and vice versa. They could always borrow whatever. So that is it. We got rid of 5 of 7 games. That's at least 8 Kickstarters to give the green light to.
Oh, because Panther Roses was 2 games.
Yeah.
That's why you say 5 of 7 games.
Yeah, so the expansions. Normally we're doing these expansions separate. That expansion is a tiny little, couple cardboard keys, and it's in the same box.
And a couple extra cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let us know down in the comment section if any of these games look good to you. Have you played them? Are you keeping them in your collection? And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hey, Pumpkin. We got some house guests this week, and I'm feeling like the belle of the ball.
Well, you will be the belle of the ball, but they love me more.
I don't know. Gay men love me, so.
Do they now?
They do.
Well, maybe they love me too.
I think it's my rugged handsomeness.
If you're their type.
I could be their type, I promise.